When you've been travelling,
Yeah.
have you ever been homesick?
Have I ever been homesick when I've been traveling? So no, not really. So I never get homesick because I think wherever I am is home for that moment in time. I've always had that kind of attitude. So, but there was, and I also never, I guess, feel out of place either. And you and I have had this sort of conversation before, and maybe it's the privileged white woman thing, but I feel like I can turn up anywhere and I'm at home. And actually I feel less at home in a room, surrounded by British people because I've been away for so long. But I was homesick once, and I remember specifically the incident, and it was in 2005. It was in 2005, and I was doing an overland trip from Nairobi to Cape Town. So it was sort of 4 months of traveling on this, they call them overland trucks, right? And so we're in this truck. It's like a bit like an army truck, and there's like 20 other people or so on the bus. And we're playing music, and I was living in Germany at the time, and there was this song came on. I don't know if you know him. It's this reggae artist called Gentleman. I don't know if he's German. He is German, right? But it was this reggae song, and I heard that song, and then I suddenly was homesick. So I was in the middle of, I don't know, Uganda or somewhere, and that song made me feel homesick. But then it made me feel homesick for Germany. Which is also all sorts of confusing because, Germany was my home, but it's not my home. It's not where I come from. But that was the only time.
It's not where you're really from.
It's not where I'm really from.
Because I get asked all the time, where are you from? England. But no, where are you really from?
Yeah, exactly. England. Yeah, England. So yeah, that's the only time I've ever felt homesick. Otherwise, I tend not to feel homesick ever. Really, I very rarely feel homesick. I remember when we were at school, we had a campsite, and we used to leave on Thursday, and on Sunday the parents could come out to visit you on the campsite for afternoon tea and everything like that. And I remember some of the boys would be hysterical. Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's like my dog when I leave her at the kennels.
Well, likening a 12-year-old boy to a dog is quite similar, but no. But they would be hysterical. I'd be thinking, what are you so upset about? And I think that kind of hardened me from a very early age to appreciate the fact that you're away. You have the opportunity to be somewhere else. Enjoy that. And so I've never really been homesick, but I do on occasions, very rarely though, but on occasions, wish that I was with somebody else where I am. Me and you have been into some very romantic places.
I know you've wished that somebody else was with you. Fair enough. I get it.
And but I mean, that's the only thing that I have to say. That's the only thing that, I'll be in a certain situation. I think this is an absolutely beautiful situation. I'm just with the wrong person. I remember walking along the promenade in Monte Carlo, where we'd had a big event in the evening, and and we were walking along in the morning. It must have been 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. The sun was just coming up, and you could just see it rising. And I was with a colleague of mine, and as we were walking along, and I just turned to her and I said, "This is just the most beautiful environment, and we're both with the wrong people." And she said, I was thinking the same thing.
Fair enough.
So I didn't feel too bad. But it was just so beautifully romantic that you just think, if I was with somebody else, this would be...
No, I get that, yeah. And I agree with you. I think one of the reasons that I was never homesick is that there's so many things to see. Like if you're traveling somewhere, your mind's just occupied with, having a new adventure or learning about new cultures and things.